So let's dig a little bit deeper here, and because this is the performance skill category, we're talking about sort of your mental appraisal of the activity more so than the physical. So your ability to physically perform in a task environment has a lot to do with, you know, how much you've played, how much you've practiced, and your sort of growing sense of you can do this based on previous performances. But that's not to say that your ability to cope with a situation from a mental standpoint doesn't matter, because it matters a lot. Okay, so let's get right back into how we are perceiving the demands of a task relative to what we can control. So the master skill in all of this is having what we call a growth mindset. So quite simply, and we're going to get much deeper into this topic, if you have a growth mindset, you believe that there are two outcomes. That you can do a task and you can, what would seem like a failure to most people, but again, in a growth mindset, it would be a learning experience. So there's two possible scenarios. You either learn from an activity or you succeed in the activity. So again, I think if we can as a whole understand that there is no such thing as failure, because failure is just a way to learn, then you're going to start looking at a situation a little bit differently. So if a situation is sort of this do or die, and if you fail, then that's something extremely negative, then you're going to consider that situation dangerous, and you're going to feel all of those, negative stress symptoms. So from that standpoint, it's important to understand that when you are looking at the demands of a task, that you look at them from what you can gain and not what you can lose. So again, if every situation is a chance to learn something, or hey, hopefully succeed, right? You're thinking about, hey, I can break my best score ever, or I can win my first tournament, or hey, I can go prove to myself that all this practice I've been doing is going to pay off, or hey, I'm going to go try this new mental skill that I've learned. So whatever it may be, if the situation, if you concentrate on what you can gain from the experience rather than lose, that's a big part of, from the start, controlling your stress. So what I want us to do as the next activity is I want you to go back to the original exercise, those 2 or 3 occasions where you were listing out when you were stressed, what you did about it, and I want you to think about if you had thought of the situation as only something you could learn from, or you thought about what you could gain from that moment, how that situation would have been different. Then from there, I want you to the next 5 times, okay, let's just start with the first 5. The next 5 times you put a golf club in your hand, I want you to look at the situation, whether it's you're doing a drive activity and you're trying to get a new high score in whatever sort of skill arena you're working on, or you're going to play 9 holes with your buddy. I want you from the start to think about all of the aspects of the activity that are fulfilling to you and that can bring you something, whether it can be a learning experience, a new low score, just a level of excitement, that just being on the golf course. So again, think of the situation from what you can gain from it and not what you can lose.